Hello. All right. So this week, let's talk all about how to start a copywriting business. For those of you who haven't met me yet, my name is Jessica Johnson, and I run a content marketing agency that grew to multiple six figures in its first year. I have a bachelor's in journalism and several years of experience leading content teams at global companies. So I am here to share what I have found really works in terms of building a copywriting business that is not only fun and fulfilling, but very profitable as well. So the good news is it's actually much more simple than a lot of other business models. And that's something that I wish I would have known out of the gate. I definitely found my winding road through other business models. I tried coaching for a period of time. I thought for a long time I needed like a new product or service or something more complex. And I never saw copywriting and content marketing as a way to literally just build a business right away. Like I didn't need a fancy website. I didn't need a brand new business idea. I didn't need to go and learn a new skill I could teach on like I thought I did. I really could just use copywriting and get in with brands and start building that client base in hours. And so I'm going to try and break it down for you and make it just so simple, and take out all the fluff and things that I think a lot of new business owners feel like they should do or have to do in order to build a business. Like you don't need to have the fanciest logo or the best business name yet or the perfect website. You really need to just get scrappy and get those first clients. And so let's talk about how exactly to do that in the most streamlined way possible, right? Without all the fluff and expense of the other nice to haves, but things that you can add later. So the first thing that you would want to do is to fine tune some work samples and or your portfolio. You definitely want to have a few things that you can send to brands to show your expertise. So for you, that could be blog posts, it could be social media, it could be ebooks, webinars, whatever your niche within copywriting is. Could also be websites, things like that. Anything you've worked on, you want to polish up in a really nice format. So what I mean is if you have a few different blog posts here and there, and those are your samples, that's great. What you want to do though is make sure that you have all those samples looking very consistent in those Google Docs. The heading is the same font, the same size, everything looks clean. You've read through it again. It's still in your best voice and best work. It doesn't have to be a certain kind of content. You could have a mix of different samples, so maybe a blog post and some social media posts and a web page, or you could just start from scratch. And if you don't have any of that, go make it, and that could be your sample, right? Like it doesn't have to even be something that has necessarily been published on another company's site. You can literally just send the Google Doc, or whatever you do have is enough. In my expertise, hiring writers, we're really looking to see that you can write. And so while it's great if you have a fancy portfolio full of tons of links to major online publications like Forbes and Ad Age and all those, that's not as essential as really just being able to do the job. So don't sell yourself short there. Just make sure you have some really nice polished samples. If you want to make a quick online website on a site like Squarespace or any of the other number of portfolio sites out there, you can do that, and that looks really professional. If you want to make an old-fashioned like PDF, I remember I have used Google Slides, and I literally just drag things around on there till it looks pretty, and then I package it up as a PDF and send it, in an email. You can do that. So the point being, don't feel like you have to overcomplicate this or build this fancy website. I believe that employers, for the most part, scan pretty quickly through whatever you send them, and they really just want to see that you do have that experience. And so, however you want to show it, just get yourself some work samples and we can work with them. All right. The next thing is to get out there and get clients. So many people overcomplicate this step and they make these really complicated like social media and branded things, and you don't need all the bells and whistles. A lot of early business owners make that mistake and they wonder why they're not getting clients when they feel like they're just constantly learning or working on their website or building like freebies and things like that. And that stuff is all so great. But at the end of the day, it's keeping you behind the scenes still. And I think that's why it is so appealing, because it feels safer than actually putting yourself out there and pitching people and reaching out. But it's not what gets clients. So for you, you want to be spending the majority of your time in client getting activities, meaning you want to be going on freelance sites like Upwork or Contently and making a portfolio or a profile, and then reaching out and pitching yourself for the opportunities you see on those sites. Upwork is full of postings every day for people looking for freelance writers of all skill levels and rates. And so for me, I would just apply to a few every single day until you get a client or two. For me, so many long-term relationships came from there, where if even if it was like a shorter project, like scripts or a blog post here and there, it often turned into much more. And so for me, I've made thousands and thousands of dollars in my business from what started as just a simple pitch on Upwork. So I would check that out, and be doing that until you get clients. Another thing you could do is send 25 emails to friends and family or LinkedIn contacts. Emails are great because they're so personal and it's your network and people that know you and are rooting for you. And just let them know that you are looking for copywriting work. Attach your samples, show people what you can do, and ask if they are looking for help with anything from blog posts to social media to web copy, or if they know anyone who might be, that you would appreciate the forward. I mean, that is a great way, because so many people want help writing, and there's a million things that they could need help writing for, whether it's their business, their website, their personal projects, their social media. So many people don't feel confident. So if you're someone who likes to write, I know it might be intimidating to send those emails to people but those are going to be your warmest leads. Those are going to be the people that are the most excited and willing to take a chance on you, or to refer you to someone they know who does need help copywriting. So definitely send those emails, and know that it's the perfect time to do it when you are going out in this new venture anyway, because it's like, what a great excuse to announce it, right? Like, oh, I'm starting something new. I wanted to let you know, wanted to let you be the first to know. Please keep me in mind. People are so excited to help someone who is being brave and doing something new or starting a business. So that can be a great way to get your first clients and to grow those relationships. Another thing that you can do is, even something like posting in Facebook groups. So this is a strategy that not everyone even knows about or thinks of, but it can be so effective. So go sign yourself up for some business owner or marketing Facebook groups, and introduce yourself and just say, I'm a new copywriter. I would love to offer you a free blog post. If anyone's looking, comment below, something like that. And by you offering just a free demo of your services, you get to experience what it's like to work with a potential client. And there's a lot of safety for them, because then they get to see your work for their actual product or website or industry. And that's a great way to begin a long-term relationship. So it's not about you giving free work forever. It's about you almost offering, like, for some businesses, they'll do a discovery call, right? Where you get to know each other, you get to show what you can do in that small, just sample of work. And then from then on, if they like your work, which they will, right? Then you can do more and more for them and continue to build that relationship and all those hours and all the revenue that can come from those. Another thing that I would think about is even just, how can you make a goal for yourself? So is it one new client a week? Is it one new client every 2 weeks? Is it 5 hours of work this week? That's your new goal, to get 5 new hours of work. Whatever that is, I think that can be a way that takes you out of this just feeling of like there's endless things to do, and it's easier to hide behind the scenes, and really put your goal in a number format front and center. So whatever you have to do to get scrappy, if it's posting on LinkedIn, if it's sending that email to friends and family, posting in Facebook groups, walking into local companies and seeing if they need help with copywriting, or attending events, whatever it is, you will get that one client this week, yet like one way or the other, right? And it's not to say that you have to, like nothing bad is going to happen if you don't, but it really turns up the intensity in terms of your intention and how you're going to spend your time this week. Because if that is the only thing that matters at the end of this week for your business, you're not going to be as distracted by the other things that kind of pull you in and feel safe, but don't actually result in clients. At this stage, it's all about getting your first clients. All right. And then once you do, it's really a matter of doing amazing work for them. So, doing your absolute best, making sure you're proofreading, you're editing, you're asking questions that are smart, that you are getting the work in on time, and really being pleasant to work with. And from there, what you can do is over time, like continue working with them on the projects that they need. Maybe you even expand your hours with them once they know and like and trust you, or you go back to getting more clients, right? So you're in this dance in the beginning of filling your time with either going and getting clients or working on client work, right? And that starts to give you just this client base. This starts to help you increase your hours with the clients you do have. You do not need 100 different clients to have a successful copywriting business. You really don't. What I have found, and I think is a secret sauce of why I was able to grow so quickly, is having a few really long-term big partnerships. So the clients that I have, they have a certain amount of blog posts that they want each month. I was able to just start conversations that said, hey, we could take this off your plate too. And they said, yes, that'd be great. And so instead of me having to go out every single month and find 10 new clients, I just work with the clients I have and I try and get a few more hours from them month after month, because it's serving them too, right? Like they have so much on their plate. You taking a few more hours off of their workload to write good content for them when they know and trust you serves both sides. And so it just gives this really good feel to the relationship. And it also gives you this huge foundation of work where you don't need to go out and constantly be hustling for like new clients, if that makes sense. All right. So I would say those are the nuts and bolts of what you need. I mean, you can definitely think about what kind of projects do you want to work on, what niche or industry is yours, but you don't have to overthink it either. Like that stuff is nice, but it's something you can decide later on. So for me in the beginning, part of what I did is I just saw what companies accepted my pitches, and those became my first clients. And did I like some type of projects more than others? Yeah, definitely. But that was something that I learned and iterated on later once I had the luxury and the financial security to do that. And so I think sometimes it's so smart in so many businesses to make a niche and to define exactly what your offering is and have a very nice service page. But honestly, in the beginning with copywriting, you can just go and pitch what you see and take whatever first work you get and just start to learn about what clients are the best to work with, which have budgets that pay you really well, which have a steady amount of work. And that can really inform the direction you go. And you might be surprised. I know I was like, for me, I really learned a lot about what kinds of businesses I liked working for and what stage they were at in business. And the kinds of things that I felt like I'd be really passionate about sometimes didn't actually turn out to be that fun of a working relationship because it wasn't a great business in terms of a client. And so there's a little bit of a dance there, but the only way to do that is to try a lot of different clients and niches and industries and company sizes and see which ones are willing to compensate you the best and are the most fun for you to work on and are just really the buildings of a great copywriting business for you. All right. So take out all the fluff. What you really need in the beginning is to get a few work samples. Can be a portfolio, can be on a nice, pretty website, but definitely doesn't have to be. So don't spend too long there. And then go out and get your clients, whether it's sending emails, posting on LinkedIn, posting in Facebook groups, going to online events or local meetups, literally going into local businesses or using freelance sites. Like there's a million ways to get clients. Your goal is to just get out there and get in front of people and let them know you're willing to write. Um, Make a really concrete goal of what you're going to do to stay on track, whether it's really trying for one new client a week or a month or whatever feels good to you. Do incredible work for them, and then continue to either increase your hours with them or to go out and find another client and another client, another client until you have this thriving copywriting business. Those are the nuts and bolts. That is what I have done to build a multiple six-figure copywriting business myself, to scale to 20,000 in just a few months of the business. And so it's nothing as secretive or like saucy sounding as maybe people think it is, or maybe it is for other models. But that's another reason why copywriting is so amazing. Those are your simple steps, and that can really build a successful business over time, and one that's a really lot of fun as well.